All right, my babies. Today's video is can karma be energy that is not yours? Operating on the basis that letting go gets you close instead of striving. The minute I read can karma be energy that is not yours, I think two things, it has to be three, but let's go for two for now. Two things struck me. One is when you give energy to something, you're getting something in return, right? It's the price you pay, right? So, uh, karma being energy that is not yours is more the first thing is like energy, basically, like what's it called? Total entropy of a system. Like within a system, like there's always something that goes in and kind of something that dissipates, and there's something that kind of like the Earth always is receiving like sun's rays. And in a way, it's kind of like expanding certain kind of and expanding or growing or like emitting energy, right? Because we are heating up. And so that the I think second or third law of thermodynamics is like energy can basically can be transferred, cannot kind of like be the concept of consuming energy is not just it disappears, it just has to be transferred. So that's one. And when I thought of karma, I thought more of a because karma is like is a price, right? Like, it's my karma to bear. It's the price to pay for something. I guess it's the shusmo. It's now I'm paying the price of things I did before, and that's basically what karmic points are, right? And again, like there are good karmic points and bad karmic points. Makes sense for how to have these two. These are the two things that pop to my mind. I'm sure there's a third, but I'm sure that will come. So you're operating on the basis that letting go gets you closer instead of like striving. As in, like if you're striving to do something, you're probably it's similar to or this kind of fits perfectly in the current environment as every video ever did, but it always comes to me later. One of it's basically a car that kind of needs an oil change, and even though it's still driving, it starts consuming more fuel, and it requires a lot more maintenance, or it requires a lot more stuff gets destroyed because the oil is no longer lubricating the right parts, and eventually the engine kind of blows up. So on the basis of the thinking of karma that way, it's like when you find yourself striving, then ultimately you're probably investing your energy in the wrong place. Investing your energy in the wrong place means you're kind of like, I don't know, it's like having US dollars when you need a euro, when you need the euro, right? Or taking Lebanese pounds with you to anywhere else in the world, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, no, it works in Lebanon, it doesn't work somewhere else." So, uh, anything that pushes our energy out, which is not necessarily coming from us, could that be karma? Could that be what karma is? Because, for example, let's just say, who am I are the values that I have, right? Are I am this kind of guy. I am, and we judge those based on, okay, so like, are you a violent guy? Like, go slap somebody in the face. And if you find yourself kind of like feeling awkward about it or thinking about it later on in the future, whether positively or negatively, by the way, because if you're getting high because of something, that's just, or you're getting pleasure out of something, or you're getting anxiety out of it, both of them are both of them show that it's not something that is a part of you. Because something that's a part of you gives you peace. That's it. It doesn't heighten your energy. It gives you peace. Heightened energy is either construed as positive or construed as negative. It's heightened energy. There's never a need for that. Or at the very least, at the core where your self exists. So if I'm doing something that's not truly me, then ultimately I'm accumulating karma. And whether it's a positive thing or a negative, like if I am trying to do something, and I think that's basically, let's go to the story of Cain and Abel. And the reason why Cain kind of killed his brother is because he was jealous of Abel. And the reason he was jealous of Abel is because Abel picked grain to give to God, while Cain picked meat. And meat is basically like fuck yeah, much better food, right? But the difference is Cain just kind of like slaughtered any piece of meat and like gave it to God. It's like I'm giving you meat, I'm better than Cain. But Cain picked the best grain, so attentively chose the best things that he could give. And that kind of is the whole. That's where basically like the difference between both of them is one was very intentional about what he's doing, and the other one just kind of like realized that whatever he does will work simply because whatever he has is better. So a person that just helps people for the sake of helping, or for the sake of gaining karmic points, is not necessarily gaining the karmic points in it. Is I mean like somebody who's helping people for the sake of helping is is literally gaining karmic points for helping, right? But if somebody's helping people for the sake of helping people, for the sake of the people that kind of like need help, for the sake of the fact that like taking time from himself to help people, right? Instead of not just instead of the normal, I don't know, instead of the normal look at me is like I'm glad it's over or I'm glad I was able to do that, right? It's just like that different attribute. You're still doing a good thing, which is giving you a karmic point. But the one that you kind of like, but the one where you're helping people because that's the kind of person you are, not because you want to see people that you want people to see that you're helping them, right? Not for any other alternative, kind of removes negative karmic points, right? You can do shit that make give you positive karmic points, but ultimately the shit that you do that harmonize with you are the shit that remove karmic points. And I made a video a while back about like how karma is, or karmic points are basically the shit is small. The how karmic points are currency when it comes to the universe, right? And in a way, they kind of stand in. I I imagine it right now as they stand in your way, because like any way we describe karma is that karma is something that we have on our backs and we're moving with it, and we're kind of like interacting with the world through the karma that we have. Correct? And it's literally, right? Like, if I give you $1,000 and you just go and all you do is kind of like buy stuff, eventually you're gonna run out of $1,000. But if I give you $1,000 and sometimes you buy stuff, sometimes you make stuff and you sell stuff, you kind of like are making money and selling money and making money and selling money. And there's kind of like that balance over there. And I see karma in the exact same way. But how we build karma, uh, there's an anime I was watching last week about a guy who was chosen by God because of his purity. Here's the thing. He passed the test of purity, but purity of intent versus purity in general are two different things. That guy was not really the end result, and what they were trying to prove is that if you do something and you feel something about it, then it wasn't pure as to where it's coming from. And so the person had a lot of darkness, but he was basically shell shocked. So he was still chosen because with everything, he just looked at the world in a very glum way. And that basically allowed him to basically be chosen as the person in charge, simply because his intention was not really good, bad, or evil. It was just, I'm going to do whatever I do the way I see the world. And that was basically the, what's interesting is basically that those were the rules, right? Like, what are the rules of us doing bad, or what are the rules of us doing good? We know the rules of society, right? But what are the rules of us doing something beyond our honest values? What does that cost, right? And how do we tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing? When people truly believe, and maybe I can reflect that on the nature of human beings and when people are fighting. Like at the core, when people truly believe that they are being attacked, then anything they do is justified and it's under a noble cause. And at one point, it becomes a thing that makes them feel good. There are these kinds of things, the smaller things, the bits and pieces, that really allow us to, I guess, look at ourselves a bit more and why we do what we do, why we're expressing a certain kind of energy, why we're allowing ourselves to absorb other energy, right? Because if I'm taking dance like classes, for example, and I don't know, I used to do hip hop, right? If we're taking dance classes when what you wanted to do was basically, I don't know, I used to do breakdancing, right? But memory lane, 1 second. Back. Okay. If you're taking dance classes where all you wanted was small boxing classes, right? That's one one speaks more to you or about who you are, and the other doesn't. But one's kind of like pointed at from the outside. That's not really yours. You can still do it. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But if it doesn't come out of you, it's not really something that's you. Versus if it's something that's purely like, I don't know, it's just that random way that you choose stuff. It's like this, it's calling out to me. I don't know. Can karma be energy that's not yours? And the whole point is you don't need positive karma or negative karma. You just don't need it. The whole goal is to kind of like, be able to interact with the world as honestly as possible without anything in between. Like walking in the forest and picking a fruit and eating it. Nobody owns that fruit. And the karmic system seems to be when we start kind of like exchanging good deeds or exchanging money